Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, so sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I do just want to ask guys to please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and of course I always do greatly appreciate that. But with that being said, let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. There is a lot of stuff to talk about in terms of a settlement. We are waiting for that day to come. I mean, I would say that almost every individual in this space that wants to see crypto really start to grow and be adopted in would be hoping for, of course, regulatory clarity with Ripple. And the reason why is because it's not all about XRP. In fact, this case is such a small percentage surrounding XRP itself as a currency or a security, realistically speaking. This is more so regulatory clarity for this entire space. It's not just XRP. Anyone that thinks that this SEC case is all about XRP is extremely close-minded. You need to open the vision to a whole new area, which is of course this entire market, because this entire market lacks regulatory clarity. And it doesn't mean that everything gets regulatory clarity. No, absolutely not. XRP will be the first asset in this space to get regulatory clarity. But after that, we will be seeing a lot more regulatory clarity coming to other assets as well. And utility gems will most likely be the first ones to have regulatory clarity, meaning like XRP, XDC, XLM, HBAR, stuff like that. Those are what I'm really kind of hodling right now, is just utility gems, because there's really no use for me to hodl Dogecoin, Shiba, stuff like that. Like, it just does not make sense at all, especially at their market valuations of like 13.5 to like 16.7 billion dollars. And I'm not saying that market cap matters. I'm just saying, when you have a coin that has no utility behind it, it's pretty much useless. But I do want to talk to you guys about some exciting things. So let's kind of move on and let's talk about this tweet here. So first off, this goes back to 2019. Now, I don't know why David Schwartz actually, just decided to respond to this now. But we do see here, banks were obviously never going to use XRP for settlements and enrich Ripple Inc., who owns more than half of all XRP. They would rather enrich themselves instead. Kudos to JP Morgan, for being first. They are going to wipe the floor with Ripple. Now, this goes back to 2019, February 14th, as you guys do see. And here we have David Schwartz responding, saying because JPM's competitors would rather enrich JPM than Ripple. And this is true. I think that Anders is definitely, onto something here when he says exactly that. Banks compete. They're not a single entity. This is also the idea that, like, listen, banks will go where the best rates are. If they could capture a massive percentage of a market share because they are offering their clients, or maybe they're just offering their customers in general, like retail customers, the best FX rates, you could guarantee that that bank is going to, be beyond all of the other competitors. Which, when I say this, I mean, like, we look at banks that are utilizing Ripple and XRP products right now. And when I say Ripple and XRP products, I mean, like, you have banks that are utilizing just RippleNet, but then you have banks that are utilizing RippleNet plus XRP. Those individuals, those banks, I should say, that are utilizing RippleNet plus XRP are getting 60% plus deductions in FX rates, but also getting the efficiencies that XRP boasts, which is like the instant settlement. We're talking more so scalability, security, trust, traceability as well, transparency as well too. So again, this is all a competitor game. You got to think about it as, hey, what bank is going to be utilizing Ripple? What bank is going to be utilizing JPM? At the end of the day, they're going after something that they want to be, the best. These banks are competitors at the end of the day. Also, we do see a good find. James, here's a picture to show a schematic of how Volante uses Ripple in their back end and some of their partners. And again, this is coming from Roll XRP. I Spy, a Ripple client, today announced that it is offering U.S. banks and financial institutions a single unified solution for the FedNow service and TCH RTP real-time payments. This is Volante Technologies, by the way. When we are talking about Volante, I've been talking to you guys about them for a very, very long time. And yes, here is how they are utilizing Ripple. Of course, this is all talking about fees and FX rate quotes and stuff like that from Ripple's side. You guys do obviously see their customers. They have 100 plus customers in over 35 countries. Citi, You know, Citibank's huge, BNY Mellon, Tab Bank, First American Trust, Goldman Sachs. I mean, this is a giant. I've discussed to you guys about Volante so many times, and honestly, their use case for Ripple is fairly large. You know, they are utilizing Ripple as a processor here, but it's also that Ripple Connect that is going to connect these banks to one another and utilize it for that, of course, bridge currency, if you will. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of this stuff kind of unfold, but you know, definitely pay a close eye out on some of these, you know, partnerships that Ripple has had for a while, because Volante is not new, but they are launching some incredible services, and this one is definitely something to continue to watch currently. Now, we also see another Ripple partnership, actually, Navati. Report from 2/28, full of good, known stuff, expanding profitable already, Ripple partnership, expansion in EU via Verve, ATX acquisition, 20% stake in Reckon Ltd, with eye towards integration or integrated payments, near an Australian banking license as well. Here you guys do see expansion of Ripple partnership. Navati's partnership with Ripple was expanded into Thailand. This partnership is now generating revenue in 2 countries, Thailand and the Philippines. Discussions are continuing between Navati and Ripple to launch services in further new markets across Southeast Asia. And honestly, Navati has been absolutely killing it since their inception to, of course, the Ripple Net. This goes back to April 14th, 2021. You know, Navati taps ODL to improve Australian remittance payments to Southeast Asia. Again, you know, you really got to pay attention to some of these groups because Navati is actually pretty large as well. They're not like the biggest company, but they are one that is going to provide cross-border payments. They're going to utilize, of course, XRP for these as well. And it's honestly incredible, to say the least, where like I wish somebody would make a graphic of where Ripple has positioned themselves fully, because they are all around the globe now. Of course, the U.S. is stifling that innovation, but I don't think that that's going to last too much longer, and we're going to be discussing that as well. Now, here you have the Navati. This goes back to September 24th, 2021. Navati Ripple partnership expands into Thailand. Highlights Navati's partnership with Ripple has now expanded to Thailand and is generating revenue. Follows the momentum of Navati tapping on RippleNet's on-demand liquidity service for remittances between Australia and the Philippines in April this year. Again, highlights Navati's ability to monetize its existing ecosystem in new markets. Discussions underway to launch in additional markets across Southeast Asia as well. This is basically what we read over here on this tweet. But I wanted to show you guys really the breakdown here. I mean, they are looking at on-demand liquidity. They are looking at really, you know, launching these major services, of course, through RippleNet. We even see, you know, with this expansion to Thailand, Navati has partnered with the first Thai bank, CM Commercial Bank, SCB, through RippleNet. This is expected to result in thousands of transactions a month being processed by Navati through RippleNet. Revenue from this partnership is dependent on take-up of the services. But of course, when we are talking about on-demand liquidity, it is the key here. And we even see, you know, this partnership between Navati and Ripple continues to go from strength to strength. Within the first year of our partnership, we have successfully launched and generated revenue from the new services in 2 countries in Southeast Asia, alongside leading local partners such as CM Commercial Bank. And they're absolutely killing it. Honestly, delivering record annual revenue of $18.4 million from FY21, an increase of 55% on FY20, completing a $40 million plus capital raising to expand its growth strategy as well, securing a 19.9% strategic stake in leading accounting software platform Reckon Limited. And this is coming from those announcements or achievements that Navati has already seen. But again, they are going to continue to expand. A lot of these on-demand liquidity services are going to continue to expand, but Navati definitely is a very interesting company. I mean, they do about $2.3 billion in value of transactions every single year, 20 years of experience, 58 countries active as well. And I know that this number is fairly small. Trust me, I know it is, but this is one of many partnerships. You have to think bigger than just the idea on, yeah, I mean, you know, $2.3 billion, that's pretty much nothing, but you got to realize this is one of 300 plus partnerships that they have. So just think about the sheer amount of volume that is flowing over the Ripple network. Also, we do see here new Fed Chair Jerome Powell reiterated his long-standing position that Congress should take action on crypto regulation, citing the Ukraine-Russia conflict as the most recent example for the need for new regulation. And this is where this video has come from. Listen closely to this, guys.
I just think it underscores the need really for congressional action on digital finance, including cryptocurrencies. We have this burgeoning industry which has many parts to it, and there isn't in place the kind of regulatory framework that needs to be there. It was probably no different with railroads or telephones or the internet, And ultimately, what's needed is a framework, and in particular, ways to prevent these unbacked cryptocurrencies from serving as a vehicle for terrorist finance and just general criminal behavior, tax avoidance and the like. So I guess that's what I would say there. I don't really know the extent to which it's happening.
Now, of course, he's mentioning like tax evasion and stuff like that. But honestly, when we are seeing a call for congressional regulatory frameworks, that's where things start to get interesting. And honestly, with everything that has been happening in this market, when we're talking about a settlement, when we're talking about regulatory clarity coming, I do believe that that is on the rise. I think that that is a subject that, we're going to see coming up in conversation a lot, especially over the next few months, because we know, from my point of view at least, that Ripple has been continuing to build out a regulatory framework for crypto itself. And if we do see a settlement between Ripple and the SEC, or just a blatant win from Ripple's side, then we will most likely see that regulatory framework be ushered in, and we will see crypto being a fully regulated asset class. And I'm not talking about regulated in the sense of, centralized regulations. We're seeing a centralization sort of movement happening behind the scenes with like private CBDCs on these ledger technologies. But for the most part, crypto itself will remain decentralized. We'll just see regulations being in place for these financial institutions to move in on crypto and utilize this technology, but it will all still remain, of course, decentralized in its own self. Also, we do see here, has Gary Gensler been thinking a lot about losing lately, or is this an attempt to prepare the public for their colossal defeat in the Ripple versus SEC government case? He's usually far more confident, almost arrogant about their ability and track record. And listen close to this, guys. It changed drastically since, I actually have another video open, so we're going to look at both of these.
To litigate. This agency has to be willing to go into court and, take some losses from time to time. But go into court.
Right.
I think all of those things, but it's trying to use high-profile cases to bring folks back on the right side of the line.
And of course, now he's talking about losses. You got to take some losses along the way. But we go back here. He's been advised Ripple could achieve a complete victory. This makes Judge Nepern's reconsideration decision even more significant. Only when and if the SEC is forced to turn over the 63 Hinman speech emails and possibly other notes will the SEC come to the table, if then. And listen closely to this. I mean, we look back. Okay, August 3rd, 2021. We haven't lost a case. March 3rd, 2022. Take some losses from time to time. Listen closely.
Now, over the years, the SEC has brought dozens of cases, many of them during my predecessor's time. I've only been here 3 months. And yet, having brought dozens of cases, we haven't lost a case.
Willing to litigate. This agency has to be willing to go into court and, take some losses from time to time.
We haven't lost a case, but now they're talking about taking a loss here and there. I mean, to me, I just see a lot of things unfolding right now. Regulations have been the number one talk for a little bit of time now, ever since the Russia-Ukraine stuff, right? It's almost streamlined the process of having regulations in store. But when we're talking about this, I really do believe that this has been one massive catalyst for crypto regulations. But we are seeing, possibly Congress stepping in and taking action on crypto regulation now. This is getting very, very interesting. I'm going to be watching this unfold. Honestly, my eyes are on Congress stepping in and bringing regulations to the space. This case basically being finished in 2022. And of course, us leading into that major bull run. And a lot of individuals, including myself, have been watching, possible charts, leading us all the way to around October of 2022 for being the major topping point for the bull run. Technical analysis like Tech Dev have even mentioned this, even Credible Crypto. There's a lot of individuals that are continuing to see this unfold as well. It would make sense with the lengthened bull run pattern, but even if we have it earlier, I'm totally fine with that. But I definitely do believe that a settlement is on its way, or just regulatory frameworks being put in place that will give XRP the regulatory clarity that we are desperate for right now. Because I don't want to say that we're desperate for, but we basically know it's going to happen. We know that Ripple is continuing to fight the good fight, and we know that XRP is a digital currency at the end of the day, not a digital security. But with all of that in mind, I am watching this space closely over the next few days, weeks, and even months, and even years technically. I mean, I'm here for the macro viewpoints, but of course, yes, will I sell along the way? 100%. But with all of that in mind, I really do hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.